The STEM Society.
What's poppin', people? My name is Cole Jackson. This is System Society. Welcome back. I got two topics this week. We finally found out the release date for Drake's new album, Iceman, and Complex just told us who the hottest rapper in the game is, and I'm going to tell you why that is a complete joke. I'll get to that later. Let's start off diving into this Iceman release date and how we got here. So, Drake decided to put an ice structure in the middle of Toronto, gave people coordinates, and the next thing you know, it's a whole circus of people around the structure trying to break it down to get to this release date. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I wasn't rocking with it at first because it's more the dramatic stuff that we have been seeing from Drake this whole time he's been having this long drawn out rollout. So I thought this was another just some more bullshit that we just did not need. Until I seen the people who were going to the structure trying to break it down. People had blowtorches. People jumped on top of the structure trying to dig. It was a circus. And the more I seen that happen, the more I was kind of enjoying it. And it got to a point to where it got dangerous. The Toronto police was trying to shut it down. So once we started seeing the Toronto police show up and say they was going to shut it down, all of a sudden we had this streamer by the name of Kishka. Kishka, if I messed up your name, I'm sorry. But he was the one who, quote unquote, found the date, went out to the mansion of Drake, and that's when he showed us the release date, which is May the 15th. So we have a date for Iceman. And I'm excited about it, whether you believe it or not. But there are some things that the internet is talking about when it comes to how this release date came about. Now, you got your people on the internet who said this is very awkward. Nobody asked for this. Then you have the other side that's saying, hey, that's pretty smart. You've been leading up to this for a while since you've been doing the streams. There are some people who don't necessarily care for said structure or said release date at all. And I'm on the side of, I enjoyed this. At the end of the day, this falls in line with everything that Drake has been doing when it comes to rollouts. I'm going to take two albums in particular. Look at what happened when he rolled out CLB. When he did the CLB rollout, he took billboards and the people who were featured on the album, he actually announced the features in their cities. I thought that was smart and it got me excited for the album. And then when you look at the Her Loss rollout, where you had a lot of you had the fake SNL performance, you had the fake Howard Stern interviews with him and 21 Savage. That was something else that got me excited because it was very meta, it was very in our face, and was something that we had not really necessarily seen somebody do before. So whether or not you liked the rollout and how we got to this point doesn't really matter because Drake has set the bar doing this for the last few albums. I personally just think that artists should always do rollouts. I think that rollouts help with the excitement, the build up to getting to this point. And truth be told, when I started watching this shit, it was a bit of tension there. I was like, all right, who's going to find this shit? And what's going to happen? Are they going to get paid? Are they going to get put on a pedestal? Are they going to have a feature on the album? What's going to happen? That was my whole thing, watching people try to dig into this ice structure. So I don't really have a problem with it. I think a lot of people look at rollouts as boring or stupid or why do we need them? And I've always said that a good rollout always complements an album instead of overshadows it. So I think this is going to be a great compliment once we get Iceman to drop. So I don't have a problem with this at all. I think a lot of people just some hater shit. Even though I loved him doing this, I have a counter to him doing a rollout. Let's just say he did this ice structure and whoever found the package opened it up and says Iceman drops now, and somebody hit the button and we would have got the date. We would have got the album as soon as somebody got to that structure. How much more exciting would it have been for us as the fans waiting on this album? You get what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like that would have been a better thing than just giving us a May 15th date, and now we're having to wait on if we're going to get a single, more antics for the rollout and all this other shit. I think for him and his career and where he's at right now, something like a surprise drop would have been outside of the box and outside of his formulaic way of thinking. And I think it would have helped him a whole lot more getting on the good side of people while he's going through this lawsuit still. I mean, there's still rumblings and there's still people yelling like Glasses Malone. He's out here yelling about this lawsuit still. Like, people are still withdrawn and upset with Drake because of certain other things outside of the music. I feel like a surprise drop would have been 10 times better, and it would have just made a whole lot more sense for me, for the fans, for everybody, even for Drake, because I think it would have been received much better than what we're going to get on May 15th. So it's something else that I'm on the fence about. Drake has been releasing these cryptic IG posts using Iceman and making these cryptic sayings. And I don't know what he's leaning towards, but let me read these to you and see maybe if you could understand what he's trying to say. When I call your bluff, make sure you answer me on that first ring. Please stop making chat for fat. Reels for reality, streaming for flow, and like for love. Thank you. Here is something you can all criticize and pretend does not make you feel better than everything. One of those definitely is regarding Kendrick Lamar and the things that he was saying about Drake throughout the diss tracks. I really think that he's going to go and diss Kendrick Lamar in this album. Yet again, probably against his better judgment. and if he does that, man, we're going to get World War IV after that. But I really do feel like one of those is really reaching out saying, I'm going to diss this man again because he was capping on a lot of this shit. Which, if you want to put your chest out, Drake, might as well go ahead and try it one more time. See if you can stand up to him again. Another one of those, which I think, the second one, I think he's really going more for like people like Casanat and the streamers who were talking against him when it came time for them to back him. I think he really took some of those things personal. And again, this is me really just kind of like reaching. I'm not saying this is all fact. I'm saying this is how I see it. But I'm looking at that second one as something as him trying to go out there and say, yo, like, you niggas could have backed me. Instead, you talk shit about me. For all the streamers who don't fuck with me, it's up for you guys too. And the third one, to me, is Drake calling out the podcasters, calling out the media personalities who criticized him throughout the beef. It's basically saying, you niggas didn't support me, so it's up for you too. I honestly think that third one is for Ebro, for Joe Budden, Charlemagne, all of the people who decided they wanted to go against this man throughout the beef. I think he's going to attack them on the album as well. Again, I'm speculating. This is me reaching. But I don't think that's too far of a reach when you think about it for real. So I think it's up. And you can tell that a lot of these podcasters are moonwalking their ass off and they want to be on the right side of history. I know Ebro went on his show here recently and he had some positive things to say about Drake after calling him a sickness.
Look, I'm here for Iceman. I don't know about y'all. Look, I definitely want to move on from the battle. Hopefully that's not where Iceman is at. I hope he's back in his Drake bag, doing what Drake does. Great songs. He always gives us great songs. Some sexy songs for you have fire on it. So I hope we back to the get down.
I want to hear some good music. Some bangers.
Man, Drake got bangers.
So let's
and
see.
Summertime, I don't, all his albums don't come out in the summertime, but he got good outside music.
Drake is not that important. The reason Drake's in this is because he is a sickness in the game.
Then you have somebody like Joe Budden, who again is arguing his side about liking Drake and being able to say what he wants to, but still being a person that is Team Drake, which I've argued that point as well. I think a lot of times people take my criticism of how Drake is or how Drake is moving as me hating him, which that's far from the truth. I'm a fan. I just have standards. I think a lot of people on the other end of this camera never realize that, like, you can have a favorite artist, but you can also have standards as well. So, I'm looking at how the whole industry is moving, And since this release date, people have been kind of backing their takes back or sitting up here saying, well, I never really meant that. I just meant that, this was this. And it's it's fucking hilarious how these niggas are moonwalking. But I've always been about a belief of, if you niggas want to talk that shit now, stand on it. Stand on your square. You get what I'm saying? If that nigga is a sickness in the industry, stand on that. If that nigga is not very well liked throughout this beef and you wanted to be able to get your shit off, stand on it. But don't sit up here and make excuses now, or don't sit up here and try to be on the right side of history now. And I don't even know if the album is going to be good or not. But what I do know is when Drake puts something out, the industry moves. And when the industry moves, there's always a big shift. There's always people who are going to either kiss his ass or completely go against what he's saying on this album. I don't even know what this nigga's going to be talking about. And I don't know if he's going to ever make that clear before the album drops. What I do hope we get before this album drop is a 2-pack like he used to do. When he used to do Scary Hours and we used to get some really good, some songs that didn't make it to the album, I do want him to drop one more of those just to get us prepared for the album, maybe get a better sense of the sound. I miss the old SoundCloud Drake days of like the leaks the Drake leaks we used to get. I miss them days so much. So it's other things that we're probably going to get before this album actually comes out on May the 15th. I can't wait to see what other antics he has or what other kind of rollout tactics he's going to put out there. But, at the end of the day, I'm excited for this album. I've been waiting for another Drake album for the longest time. I think it couldn't be any worse than what J. Cole did. J. Cole came out and he dropped his mixtape and he dropped this album and he went on that horrible promo run, went to play basketball, and we ain't heard from him since. I guess he's gearing up for the tour. But I don't think Drake is going to drop the ball like J. Cole did. No matter what he puts on the album, I think it's going to be good. Are you ready for the new Drake album? Are you excited for this rollout? Let me know in the comments. Tell me how you feel. Now that the Drake segment is out of the way, let's jump into this Complex list that they just dropped. Complex just gave us 100 of the hottest rappers right now. And lo and behold, at no surprise, or maybe some surprise to people, J. Cole was number one on that list. Problem number one I have with that, which I'll address in a second. But J. Cole is the hottest rapper right now. Okay. Not only did they put J. Cole at number one, but they decided to leave one of the better rappers off of that list, and I'll address that in a second too. Let's look at the criteria that Complex wanted to use to be able to create this list, and let's see if this is something that's flimsy or not. You need to have released a song or been featured on a track within the last 6 months, been actively touring and performing, or actively teasing new music to be considered. This is also a list of individual artists, not rap acts. This means no rap groups are included, though members of a group could qualify if they've established a strong solo presence. Your criteria is a joke. It is flimsy at best. I don't have words to say how stupid this list is right now. No words. Now, the internet has been debating this list throughout the week. Some people think it's a strong list. Some people think that the number one artist is correct. There's others like me who feel like, why the hell would you have J. Cole at number one? How is he the hottest rapper out right now? I'll tell you this, and this is my point of view, and it might not mean shit to you, but it means a lot to me. After that promo run that J. Cole went on, where he basically lied to us about everything that's going on about the fall off, that really took him down a few notches. And maybe that's a personal thing for me. Maybe I'm looking at this incorrectly, but somebody who's a hot rapper at the moment, people would be calling for, or people be asking for features. And to be honest with you, I haven't heard him be on anybody's album. I don't see anybody talking about him. I damn sure don't see people talking about the fall off anymore. I really think we can attribute that to his promo run. Now, your definition of hot may be different from my definition of hot, because you guys may be going off of album sales, which that wasn't part of the criteria I just read. I don't know what hot necessarily means in your world, but in my world, I would think that people would want to hear more from that person. I honestly feel like after that promo run, nobody wants to hear from J. Cole anymore. Because, let's be real, that promo run didn't do him any favors. This album didn't do him any favors. So I don't really think that we're calling to have this nigga number one at all. I actually have an alternative number one, which I'll get to. But having him number one makes no sense to me. And it just really feels forced. It feels like you guys were looking to be popular. It just feels nasty. It's just some nasty work. The list that Complex, Rolling Stone, Apple Music put out are not really necessarily for legitimate reasons anymore. And this is opinion. But I look at these lists as rage bait now. I look at it as, for people who really listen to music, they want to make us mad. Because surface level or casual fans, they don't necessarily give a fuck about these lists like I do. And I say it every year. I said, I'm not going to get mad at these lists. I'm not going to talk about this shit because I know it's rage bait. But I fall for it every fucking time. Every time I fall for it. It never fails. Because I love hip hop and I love music. And I feel like if you're going to make lists like this, have some rappers in the room. Have rappers in the room. Have your staff mixed with people who actually are part of the music and do this and figure it out that way. I don't want a room full of media nerds sitting up there determining like, well, mathematically, it just makes sense. I don't want that. I want voices who are actually doing the music to be in that room to create these lists. Just to help, just to be advisors, if anything. But this shit is garbage. It is fucking trash. And you niggas should be ashamed of yourself for putting this shit out here and being proud of yourself. Which leads me to probably one of the biggest mistakes or one of the most egregious offenses you guys have ever done. They made a list of 100 of the hottest rappers right now. And you know who ain't on that list? Wale. Wale is not one of the 100. He's not in the 100 hottest rappers right now. This nigga's still on a promo run. This nigga just got finished doing some shows in London. This nigga just got finished doing tons of shit. Maybe that's not good enough. Hold on. Let's look at his resume for last year. Wale's album debuted at number 5 on the Billboard charts. It hovered around number 19, and that's about as low as it went for 4 weeks. He currently has a number 1 song with Leon Thomas on Billboard right now. Is that enough? I mean, I don't know what else I need to read off to get you guys to understand that maybe Wale should be on the hottest 100 rapper list. If Wale dropped the album tomorrow, I guarantee you people would listen to it. How could y'all do a list and leave Wale off of it? You know what I'm saying? That makes he could have been at least number 82 or some shit. Instead, y'all got niggas like Lil Baby on there. Let me read some people who are on this list that I know shouldn't be on here. Lil Baby at 29. Pooh Shiesty at number 15. Lil Uzi Vert at number 12. Jay-Z at number 8. You niggas disrespected me by putting Jay-Z on a list of the hottest rappers out right now. The top 100 hottest rappers. I'm frustrated. The top 100 hottest rappers right now at Jay-Z's number 8, and he ain't putting is he putting the album out this year? He ain't even teased an album. The fuck are y'all talking about? He did an interview and now he's number 8 on the list. What the fuck is going on here? I bring all of that up just to say this. A lot of these lists are more engagement bait than anything else. And as people who are socialites, a part of this wonderful podcast that I do every week, I would want you to be smarter than me. Be smarter than me. Be better than me. don't fall for the rage bait that these lists give you, because you're going to end up being mad. Every time I see a list that has these huge mistakes in it, I get pissed off because it's not right. And you niggas never do right by a lot of these artists, man. For real. And then we complain when Wale sits up there and say he's not respected. And this is just another example of him not being respected. We talk shit about Wale crying about it, and at the end of the day, the nigga actually got a point. Because Complex is one of those platforms where people hold in high regard when it comes to fashion and music and all this other stuff. But y'all ain't right for that. And that was some bullshit y'all tried to pull. It was just bad. I want to address J. Cole being number one also. I might get some flack for this, but it's on my heart to say it. Y'all picked the wrong rapper to be number one. The real number one rapper, and this is going to be a controversial take for a lot of y'all, is YoungBoy. NBA YoungBoy should be number one on that list. NBA YoungBoy sold out a shit ton of tours with no radio play. NBA YoungBoy has a core fan base that consistently buys his albums, and he actually hits high numbers every time he sells. And again, it ain't really about the numbers, but he does have a base that lives around his music. And to be honest with you, he's not a bad rapper at all. He has a documentary coming out really soon talking about his tour life and everything else. And to be honest with you, a lot of people want these YoungBoy features. You can say whatever you want to about his skills as a rapper, but it ain't about who's the best. It's about who's the hottest. And if we want to talk about who's the hottest right now, as of today, I'd have to give it to NBA YoungBoy. And now I'm not flinching when I say this. I'm not tripping when I say this. That's a God honest truth. If we talk about hot, we talking about niggas who people are begging for features from, it's YoungBoy. And you can't deny that. Now when Drake drops his album, we might could have a conversation about it. But when I think about J. Cole being the hottest rapper and NBA YoungBoy being the hottest rapper, I'm sorry. The hottest rapper is NBA YoungBoy. And it's proven. This nigga, he has nothing mainstream at all, and he sells everything. Sorry. But that's the God honest truth. Now, if we get down to bars, then we have a whole different conversation. And again, there's a difference between who's the best and who's the hottest. YoungBoy's the hottest. Period, point blank. Sorry. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but that's the God honest truth, man. So when you think about those types of things, or when you see lists like that, what are they really taking in consideration? You get what I'm saying? Like, all of this is rage bait to me. It'll forever be rage bait. They're never not going to put out a list on social media that's not going to get people upset or mad or ready to fight or whatever the case may be. They're going to always do that because their platforms are either struggling or they just need a jolt real quick before something major comes out. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of they needed a big lift before Iceman dropped. And they wanted to be able to get coverage and do all this other shit. So it is what it is. I don't know how you guys feel about the hottest rapper list. I'd love to know in the comments who you guys think the hottest rapper is right now. So I've decided to make this section of the pod my very own. It's called Cole's Corner, where I'm just going to do some unstructured, get my shit off talk really quick before I end the show. Boosie and Vlad are no longer a team anymore. They've broken up. And when I heard this news, I was actually disappointed. I was very disappointed because that's when Boosie gets his shit off and he actually sounds the best. And that's when he usually goes viral. When he sits down with Vlad, we both know it's going to be something crazy in that interview that's going to go to the moon. So it was shocking to me to know that they won't be working with each other for the foreseeable future because they couldn't get past $5,000.
And people were really gravitating towards these interviews. We started working out appearance fees. And the fees slowly went up. And over the last couple of years, the fee that we actually stuck at was around was $25,000 per interview. He still made the majority of the money, but I was still making $10,000, so I was cool with that, right? And we were rocking like that for years. So some time had passed. It was, I don't know, about 6, 7, 8 months since our last interview. So I just hit him up one day, a couple of weeks ago, and we had a conversation. And this conversation was a private business conversation, but Boosie recently did a live where he revealed parts of this conversation. And in his live, he said that he had asked for $5,000 more, and I said no, which is why he's not going to do the interview.
Boosie, you're a greedy motherfucker. That's all I got to say. You're greedy as fuck. Getting upset about $5,000 and possibly being a little bit jealous about Tekashi 6ix9ine getting a huge payday kind of shows me what type of nigga you are. And the fact that you decided to start your own Patreon to do your own interviews is another reason I'm calling you a greedy ass nigga. You are greedy as fuck. And you should be ashamed of yourself, man. This is not a good thing. Boosie went ahead, started his Patreon. He's going to do his own interviews. He's going to have his kids interview him and some random nigga that sounds close to Vlad interview him. And his first Patreon is dropped. And this is the first thing he decided to talk about on his Patreon.
One scene in there that might get a lot, will get a lot. I got like a scene in there. Boosie, you got to... Hold on, let me explain it. Before I fuck up. It's not really it's like my best friend fucking my wife. And so I'ma go put something in his wife drink, with his fiance drink, and she gonna pass out and
Boosie, I'm going to say this with as much respect as I possibly can. If you don't shut your ass up right now and get back with Vlad, you're done. You're done. Whatever it is that you think you're going to make off of this, you're not going to make it, bruh. There's a dynamic between Vlad and Boosie that I don't think anybody else has. The chemistry, the way Vlad asks the questions and the way Boosie answers the questions is just gold. And for Boosie to try to go his own way over $5,000 is ridiculous. You don't have the nuance nor the knowledge to be able to understand how to make your interviews work. And that was just proof right there. That's just one clip. There's several more out there that's even more cringeworthy. You don't understand how this is going to work, and it is going to be the detriment of you. A lot of times you're protected by the people who interview you because they keep you safe and they make sure that you don't go too far out. Now, they'll let you go to the edge, but they don't let you jump off the cliff, Boosie. That's jumping off the cliff. You just jumped off the cliff completely, nigga, and ain't no saving you from a lot of the shit you want to say. I don't normally advocate for Vlad because I really do think Vlad doesn't really like our culture as much as he says he does. He just makes a whole lot of money from it. But I don't ever want Boosie to be out there like he is right now. He needs a safety net. And unfortunately, that safety net is Vlad. Now, how long this Patreon for Boosie is going to last, I have no idea. I don't know how far this is going to go. But I do understand that he should stop where he is right now. Go back to Vlad, take the 25. I think Vlad, if I'm not mistaken, Vlad said he was making $25K a interview. Nigga, make the $25K and be happy with it going viral and negotiate something else. Because ain't nobody, eventually your popularity and your virality is going to run out. That's just how the game works, bro. The game is the game. And eventually we're not going to want to hear shit from you anymore because you're just going to sound like an old ass nigga and just saying old ass nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Like eventually the YNs don't want to fuck with you no more. It happens to all of us. But you need protection. You need people who are going to give you a safety net. You're going to need people who are going to let you go as far as they're going to let you go, not as far as you're going to let yourself go. So I just want Boosie to understand this should be the last thing he does. Go make your music, bruh, and make your movies, and leave the interviews to the people who are professionals. Leave it to Vlad and Jason Lee and these type niggas, because they are not going to let you drown. But if you're trying to do this on your own, bruh, you are bound to go up underwater, and we might not see you again. Whatever you do, Boosie, all I'm asking you do is to just stop, think, and don't move forward with anything else. If you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy, make sure you guys pay me in a like, pay me in a comment, but support me with a subscription. I'm going to make this platform as big as the sun. I will catch you guys on Wednesday. I will have some content dropping on Wednesday, possibly on Thursday as well. Make sure I can get everything edited out, but I appreciate you guys for joining me. I love you. Take care of yourself. Peace out.
She is kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.